The second language acquisition is the process by which the speaker of one language strives to learn another for communicative purpose. And there are some different theories to explain how these processes work. The first one is the universal grammar theory. This theory was developed by Noam Chomsky and explains that there is an area in the human brain especially designed to acquire and produce language. This theory was like this because he realized that kids learn their mother tongue during childhood. This theory has had also great impact on linguistic and has influenced the way language is studied and understood. However, it has also been the subject of criticism and debate within the linguistic company. Some researchers argue that the universal grammar theory does not take sufficient account on linguistic and cultural variability, and that not all aspects of language can be explained through the universal principles. To sum up, universal grammar theory posits that humans have an innate capacity to acquire and process the language, and this capacity is determined by universal principles and parameters. Through exposure to language, children will internalize grammatical structure and acquire their native language. The second theory that we find is the innatism theory. This theory can be included inside the universal grammar theory. It's a cognitive theory that suggests that certain ideas or knowledge are innate, meaning that they are present in the mind from birth and are inherent part of the human nature. This theory proposes that human beings possess innate knowledge and concepts which are not acquired through experience or learning, but they are inherent in our cognitive structures. This will explain that we all born with an innate capacity to acquire a mother language because it will be impossible to learn the immensity of the language, so it's thought that there must be these capacities involved. Innatism suggests that there are pre-existing cognitive structures that influence how we process and understand information. However, this perspective reorganizes that interaction with the environment is crucial for the full development of these innate skills and knowledge. Then we find the cognitivism theory. According to the language cognitivism, language is not limited to the production and comprehension of words and sentences, but it also involves the representation and manipulation of concepts, the processing of linguistic information, and the construction of meaning. Language is seen as a reflecting and depending on the structure and functioning of cognitive processes in the human mind. This theory says that they arise from the idea that the acquisition of a language was not a completely natural, innate process, but always required some level of cognitive effort and understanding of the world to make sense of this language and to communicate effectively. We also have the connectionism theory. This theory does not believe that there is a separated part in the brain devoted to language learning. This one believes that children acquire the language because they are exposed to enough language input to internalize what they need. So they consider that what is innate is the capacity to learn, not any default located in the brain. So according to connectionism, linguistic knowledge is not stored in an innate grammatical structure, but it's built up by connecting different associations between processing units in the neural network. We also find the processability theory. This theory was developed by Manfred Pineman from the 80s onwards, and he was widely applied in the field of the second language teaching. The processability theory holds that the development of language skills is determined by the cognitive processing capacity of individuals. According to this theory, learners go through different stages of language development as their processing capacity increases and expands. Also, it asserts that some level of processing in the acquiring language is necessary before the student may really start acquiring and using the language in a practical way. That means that the full translation from the mother tongue to the target language will not succeed. So they also developed the teachability hypothesis, which considers that a student can only be taught when she or he is psycholinguistically ready to learn. Referring to the interaction hypothesis, they believe that the acquisition of knowledge is due to the result of being exposed to thousands of interactions with people and the objects around them. That's why they think that the language acquisition is just another example of the awesome human capacity to learn from example. Through interaction, learners have the opportunity to receive immediate feedback, practice language skills, and negotiate meaning with native speakers. The last theory we find is the sociocultural perspectives. They consider that language learning occurs as a consequence of what we communicate to others and what others communicates to us. That's why they think that the discourse is the best way to connect with others. According to this perspective, language is acquired and developed through participation in social and cultural practices. The social environment, including the family, the community, and the society at large, plays a crucial role in the language acquisition. Children learn to speak and use the language, interacting with their caregivers and other members of the language community. In conclusion, I believe that language is a process that is learned and developed throughout life, not innate. Human beings are born with the physical and cognitive capacity to acquire and process linguistic information, but the ability to speak and understand the language is acquired through the social interaction and the exposure to a rich linguistic environment. I also believe that language acquisition is a complex process that involves the activation and development of different areas of the brain, as well as the influence of social, cultural, and emotional factors. Therefore, although there are certain biological predispositions that facilitate the language acquisition, language itself is a learned and not innate.